Cody Anderson, and I am joined by Jordan Vogel, and we are both part of Good Rep Media. And if you are new here, Good Rep Media is a small business marketing agency. We help small businesses get ranked on Google. We help you with your Google business profile optimization, and we like to help with a lot of online problems. Now, Jordan, do you think we're good at that job?
I think we're pretty good at the job. I like to think so. I think if we're not good, we are constantly getting better.
Yeah, see, and I'm kind of here for that because that is 100% the kind of energy we bring to the table. That is 100% what we try to do and sets us apart here at Good Rep. We are constantly trying to improve and better ourselves. But we're not on the Good Rep channel today. We are on the Joey Matterhorn YouTube channel today, and we are actually here to talk about how to end the year strong. We are wanting to touch on the topic of staying strong through December and making sure that you're not burning out. We both live in Michigan. We both deal with the weather change and the big SAD. So,
Yeah.
how do you stay productive?
I want to start out by giving an example of how much the big Michigan winter really weighs on your I don't know, everything. So
Psyche.
last night, I basically live in a grocery store parking lot. Like, to get to my parking lot, you have to go through like a superstore lot basically to get to me. I wanted to go last night, go get some candy before bed because I was feeling snackish and it's my cheat day on my diet. So I start up my car and I start to drive it, and like I didn't let it warm up, like you're supposed to do when it's all cold. I'm like, I'm going 30 seconds, and as I'm doing it, my car is like stiff. And then like I like put it in park, put it back into drive, and then like it almost feels clunked. And I'm like, oh, this probably isn't good. I should have let this warm up. So when I drive it back to my apartment, I'm like, I'm gonna let this warm up for like, I mean, I'm not driving it anymore tonight, but I'm gonna like leave it on for a little bit. And I was sitting in the car and I was like, I kind of want to leave it on for like a good like 20 minutes. I just don't want to sit here in the car for 20 minutes. So I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and I'm gonna come back down in 20 minutes. I get a knock on my door this morning from my neighbor, like, is your car on out there? I left my car on overnight.
No.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah, that was a tough one. Thank God it was still there.
Yeah, dude. Your car was still there?
Yeah.
That's okay. This whole story is phenomenal. I love this. This is exactly how I wanted to start today. Thank you for bringing this
I did
up.
it for the podcast. I did it for the podcast.
How the hell?
I came upstairs. I like turned on a show. Like one of my friends was like on a video game. Like I didn't play with him, but like I was messaging him. And then like I was like, I'm getting a little tired. Time for bed. And then I went to sleep. And
what time was this all?
Like 11 o'clock was when I started the car. Was like when I like left the car, and then I don't know, I clocked in and I was on the clock for maybe like 15 minutes and I got a knock at the door. So like from like 11 o'clock until like 8:45 in the morning.
I mean,
I didn't drive it. I did, but like it was running fine. Had a quarter tank of gas still. I don't know how much it had, but it was around there. Like I maybe went from a half to a quarter. I don't know, but like
is your battery gonna die? Like I would go
like the car was running. Like if your car is on, I don't know how much you know about a car and how an alternator works. But if your car is on, your alternator is constantly keeping your battery charged.
So as long as your car is on, like the engine is on. For some reason I thought it had to be in motion.
No, that's for like roll starting a car. Like if you're trying to like turn on a car that's like dead, you can like roll start a car. But like as far as like your if your battery is dead, like that's why like you jump a car and like all you got to do is like jump a car to the point where like you turn on that car and then that battery is alive again because the alternator gives it the life back.
Yeah,
this is very like uneducated.
I was gonna say,
but that is essentially how it works. There's more details there, but
Jordan is telling us how cars work today as the foremost expert on how cars work.
At least
that's the main thing. where I'm at, and I want to be clear because we're both new to content creating. This is our first year, quote unquote. We're clocking out the first year of our content creation here, but I'm realizing some of our best content is when we say shit with our full chest that we are not 100%
When
sure
we
of
are
or do not
overly
have the
confident
capability to
about things that we should not be overly confident
say.
about.
Our most viral piece of content this whole year is me with my full chest calling Mochi Nut a ramen shop and people being really offended with that. And so I'm kind of here for you telling me exactly how an alternator works because
Yeah.
I have no
I haven't
idea.
even
I
gotten
can play
into the
the idiot.
magic yet. The magic that they infuse into the alternator.
Dude, I have you seen the copy pasta memes where they talk about how electricity is basically modern day magic. The fact that we can imbue electricity into our rocks to make them think and give us an output that is different than what we've input into them. Like
Yeah.
that's just it is actually magic.
You want to know something that I've been watching recently that's been really cool, kind of that kind of like breaks down kind of how that works? I've been watching Dr. Stone. Have you ever watched Dr.
Oh
Stone?
yeah, yeah. Dr. Stone's a
Like
great
I
anime.
just finished season one. I had no idea what it even was. Like I watched it off a recommendation. Someone's like, "Go watch Doctor Stone," and like I kind of love doing that when someone's like, I almost want people to tell me, "Hey, go watch this," but don't tell me about it. I
Mhm.
might not get to it right away, but eventually, like because my friend told me to watch Doctor Stone for like 2 years now, and
Mhm.
I finally got around to it. Oh, Sarah was just explaining to someone how an alternator worked this weekend. Probably had a dead battery. There's probably a car with a dead battery out there.
Well, and that's one of the things that happens in Michigan quite often is dead batteries, dead electronics. There is a lot of things that happen negatively when the cold gets as intense as it does in Michigan in the
Yeah.
winter. Which, not to steer us back into
No, yeah,
topic
I can see
here,
I was about to tangent there.
no. I'm just gonna get there before Mel does. I'm gonna save her the trouble. We're gonna be chatting about how to end the year strong. We want to combat the big Michigan sad. We want to understand and empathize with the idea that, hey, when it gets cold, when the end of the year comes around, a lot of people start getting sick, a lot of people start getting busy. And we want to put realistically how you as a small business, how you as a business owner, how you as a hustler, as you as a grinder can best utilize this time where people are very distracted. Ad budgets are high. It costs a lot of money to generate leads. Creating new funnels, you're competing with Amazon and every other giant conglomeration. I wanted to say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say like megacorp or whatever, but I feel like that's not where we're at yet, and not a lot of people would get the megacorp reference.
I don't know. I don't know. If we're not there yet, we're getting there.
Oh my goodness, I want to ask, do I have any fellow Ratchet and Clank fans out there? Megacorp,
I've never actually
you
played a Ratchet and Clank.
you never played Ratchet and Clank?
Mm-mm. I'm a
Uh,
PlayStation guy too. My entire life, never played Ratchet and Clank.
really?
Yep.
Ratchet and Clank's like it's like the Crash Bandicoot of.
The, well, I'm pretty sure Crash Bandicoot was PlayStation, wasn't it? It
Well, no,
was a rare,
maybe
but
I'm
it was
thinking
on
of Jack and
PlayStation.
Dexter.
Huh?
Because Jack and Dexter, I think maybe Jack and
Jack and
Dexter was
Dexter is
also
like, yeah, like
PlayStation.
is like flagship PlayStation. I think it's like, yeah, like it is like a PlayStation exclusive. I just think Crash Bandicoot again, and Mel's over here probably already pulling her hair out. But like I'm pretty sure Crash Bandicoot was like a PS1 game. I don't
I
know.
mean,
It,
I'm sure
it
it
wasn't as like tied to like the label of Sony PlayStation as like Jack and Dexter is, but like I don't think
yeah,
I
Ratchet and Clank was definitely like an exclusive. That's
yes.
why I was. It's part of why I was on PlayStation. Honestly,
Yeah. But yeah, I was a PlayStation guy, never played it though.
would highly recommend. It is a telltale story of taking down the mega corporation.
But it's not a
So
Telltale game.
what's that?
But it's not a Telltale game.
It is not a Telltale game. It is not Claire Obscure 33
That's
winning.
not a
What
Telltale
is it?
game either.
Nine game awards at the Game Awards this year.
Yeah, that's
Like
crazy.
all
That's
of them,
crazy.
pretty much everything.
Yeah. And it was funny because like going into it, there were so many people who were like, "It's not going to win. It's not going to win." Like and then like all like very loud people were being like, "It's not going to win," but then a lot of quiet people were like, "It's going to win."
I want you to know there was never a question in my head, and I didn't watch the full ceremony. I watched the opening ceremony, and it opened with the Clair Obscur, a live orchestra playing Clair Obscur. And if you thought the Game Awards were going to be anything but Clair Obscur when they opened with a live orchestra playing the theme song, you can go off yourself. Like your opinion is not relevant because obviously they were winning after that. There's no world where it wasn't just a tour de force of Clair Obscur.
Yeah, yeah. Going into it, it was clear what was going to happen. I've never even played it, and I knew it was going to win.
10 out of 10. But anyways, as we get into this holiday season, before Melanie actually pulls her hair out, we want to tell you about the biggest challenge you face in staying productive during the holidays. What's your biggest production barrier? What causes your biggest headache? Is it the weather? Is it the holiday season? Is
So
it being distracted by family?
so I think like there's two different ways like I'm like kind of viewing this. Like my distractions from work I think are less like weather based and more just like there's so much time off around the holidays that it's a lot of stop and start, and it gets really hard to
Yeah.
kind of like maintain a level of production during that. But then like life wise, like I don't like going out. I don't like traveling in snow. I don't think many people do, so like
Mhm.
I don't go as many places. Like I lose a bunch of weight in the summer because I'll go disc golf every single day after work, and now it's like, oh no, I spend every single day inside. So this room I'm in right now is becoming like 80% of my life, and it becomes hard to break that.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit of trouble that we already have being work from home, where I personally, I feel very strongly about work from home, that it is nice. I love the fact that we can work from home, but I also will not begrudge the fact that having a day in office for everyone, being able to see all of the people on our team would be phenomenal. Mainly because when we're work from home, you're not interacting with people.
Yeah,
I have my partner, she works in healthcare, and so when she gets home, she's seen a couple hundred people every single shift that she works. I see a maximum of 10, a
and that's through a
maximum
camera.
of 10. And that's through a camera sometimes because none of y'all like to put your cameras on. Ah, I will say let me tangent here for a second. If you are work from home, if you are working online, if you are working in marketing and you're doing video calls on the regular and you are not turning your webcam on, you're probably going about it wrong. I understand showing off your background is not always great. I understand that not having a webcam or a good webcam can kind of suck. I understand that there are difficulties with setting up a background, setting up a work area, and all of that. Um, it's worth doing. It's very much worth setting up and putting in the energy and doing the thing because
I'm
even
just
just
still
being
in
able to
such a
see another person is
dis
so
like
huge.
it's me. It's just, I don't want to show me. It's not that like I don't want to be on camera. It's like by 10 o'clock I haven't gotten myself around as much as I would like to have yet. I normally do that as soon as I'm out of the call because normally I jump out of the call to here. If it, on Wednesdays, Thursday, Fridays. Well, Friday I get ready to go to my Friday gig after I'm done. But like Wednesdays and Thursdays, I won't turn on a camera all day because like I am in my roll out of bed state until after
Well,
work.
exactly. And this is I think this is where we're getting at one of the productivity things. When you come into the winter season, one of the barriers, one of the biggest issues is holding yourself accountable because there is all of that start and stop. There is that opportunity to put things off. And we had that whole chat on accountability and holding yourself and others accountable. It becomes really difficult to hold yourself accountable when no one can see you.
Mm-hmm.
I think of the stereotypical I don't know if this is showing my side of the TikTok or whatever, but the alpha male bachelor pad that has one couch and like one TV, maybe not even like on a stand or by itself, but it's like they have a couch, the TV, and nothing else. There's nothing on the walls. There's no adornment. There's no customization. It's like this is just where I sleep and
Perfectly
where I game.
acceptable.
What?
Perfectly acceptable.
And that's uh, I hear that, I see that, and that environment is not conducive to being happy. It isn't. I'm sorry. If that's what brings you happiness, is having minimalist everything and plain walls with no individuality, no items that you purchase for yourself, no things that bring you joy. No, Jordan, I know you have a sword over there somewhere, so I don't want to hear it because you do have random objects around your place that bring you so much
Yeah,
joy.
yeah, I didn't buy
Your
those.
wall of Funkos, man. Something. Put things on your walls. Put things in your living space that bring you joy, because it will make you feel a little bit better. And so when we talk about productive, when you're going into winter and you're not turning your camera on, everyone's kind of, let's put off the calls. Everyone slows down because it's winter, it's cold, things are slowing down. Turn your camera on. Be that person who makes it a thing, because it will hold you accountable. It'll make you think of what's behind you. It'll
Yeah,
make you get out of your sweats for your day. It'll make you get ready and be more prepared for what's going on at work. And now
yeah,
that is 100% big management coming at you right there, because I am working in my sweats the majority of the time. But right now for our live show, I put on khakis, man, every time.
yeah, yeah. I'm in shorts right now. I got like two. What was it? 2 lives ago, last week at some point. Like I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just put on pajama
Yeah.
pants. People don't see my below my waist in the live. And then that was the one time where I was like, let me get up and show something.
Yeah. Well, I think you went and got the sword, actually. I
No, it
remember
wasn't
that.
the sword. I don't think. I haven't shown off the sword in a minute. It was just last week. It was something over on my stand over there. I don't
It
remember
was
what it
something
was.
like that. But regardless, I do wanna go up. We got a little bit of engagement while I was going off there, so I
I, I,
apologize.
I kind of want to, still
Yeah.
on topic, I want to kind of get out ahead of, I'm sure, one of Mel's questions she's going to ask about like methods to help stay productive in the winter, which is
Yeah.
kind of going off of what you said there. Small productive things as soon as you wake up. And I know I'm hypocritical as I
Have you been
just
doing
said
it?
I'm bad at it. But like I learned this, like I read a lot of military autobiographies, and like a lot of them talk about like their experiences in basic training, and they talk about how like one of the first things that they were taught was to make their bed. And it's
Mhm.
like they get taught to make their bed in like the same way. Everybody there has to make their bed the exact same way. It has to be perfect. And there's a few reasons for it, one being uniform with everybody else, one discipline. And then like the other thing is like if that's the first thing, if you start off every morning and you make your bed, that's you starting off every morning being a little productive. And then that snowballs into another bout of productivity, which then snowballs into more productivity. um
Yeah.
I need to be better at that myself.
100%. I think it's something everyone can be better at. More so talking about it and be willing to talk about it, acknowledge it, and have this moment where you are sitting here not afraid to be on a public stage and talk about, hey, I struggle with this thing. It is relatively simple because, dude, I do the same thing. I struggle as all get out, but it is very much a vibe change thing. And I want to segue because I think what you're saying about when you wake up, make your bed, start your day off with a little productive task. The same can be said about what I was describing of your living situation, what your office looks like, what your sleeping situation looks like. When you come home to a cleaned up bed and it's, nice and clean, don't you like climbing into clean sheets? Like when you wash your bedding, isn't that just the best? Or are you not one of
Yeah.
those people?
No, no, absolutely.
Okay.
Uh,
I'm like,
like I need to, again, that's another one that's like I need to be better at doing it, because every single time I do it, I'm like, yeah, this
it's
was
so
worth
good.
this is so worth it. But then like, yeah, it's just like put it off for as long as I can.
Oh, I do in the comments. I do see a couple of different people talking about not wanting to be on camera and why they do or why they don't. Specifically, I see Edgar during here. When you have that whole studio set up, setting everything up and going live, I think that's awesome. I
Uh,
wish I had a little bit better of like a framing. I think I've worked at this,
yeah,
and I'll
yours
be
is a
real.
lot
Like
better than mine.
this background that I got going on, I'm kind of here for it. I don't like this. This is our guest bedroom, so everyone who can recognize this.
Yeah,
So this bed is like a guest for the cats, in all honesty. But I don't like this area. I want to clean up. But this, I kind of like.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, yours is really good. Mine's obviously so blank, but like
You
mine's
frame
like a
doors
closet
differently as
door
well.
behind me. You know, it's harder to like put stuff on a closet door, and I sit a lot closer to my camera, so
Mhm.
like there's a lot less negative space around me. But
Yeah.
I feel like I still could do better. Like
Well,
I should just stack my Funkos, just do like a wall of Funkos behind me.
it's
Um,
have you even considered, because I've been thinking about rearranging this whole office room so that I could have like a little bit better of a backdrop area for it, and
mhm.
creating a like my own little, side office big area here.
This room is pretty locked in how it's got to be,
Yeah.
just because of a couple reasons. Like the heat registers, the my desk is like an L-shaped desk that like needs to kind of be in this corner. Like the bed can only be in like the corner that's in there or the corner that my computer's in. But then if it's in that corner, this corner, my desk has to go over there, but it's an L shape, so the long side of the L wouldn't fit right, and I would be staring like at my computer to a window behind that gets direct sunlight in, and there's
Yeah.
a whole bunch of reasons I don't want to do it.
Yeah. And it's I hey man, interior design, there's a reason there's a degree. It's a whole thing. And it's very much worth noting. I I've mentioned this a few times when I talk with people just in general. One of the things that I value in my partner a lot is the energy that she brings to a situation. In that, she's a plant lady, she enjoys fish. And so our living room has a bunch of plants in the window. We have fish. We have like these design elements. We have, I don't want to say feng shui, but we have some like positive energy, a good flow to our apartment, and that's really 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 nice to have.
Yeah,
It's something that I have not been good at myself. It is not a skill that comes naturally to me. I mean, look at, we've got Pokemon up here, and that's kind of as far as I get, is like buying into my childish whimsy, but
you
it
got a
makes
bunch
me
of
happy.
D and
So
D are up all over the walls too. I know
yeah,
you
there,
do.
I do have D&D art all over the walls. I'm actually super excited. Happy holidays, everyone! I'm getting more displays. I get them every Christmas. That's the only
Nice,
time I get new D&D art, is on Christmas.
nice, nice. I feel like we're very like tangented off here talking about like room design and stuff, but it does actually pertain to the topic because and it's what led us into it. So it's almost a recap of me to say this here, but surrounding yourself in an environment that makes you comfortable, that like brings you joy, like that you can look at things and be like, I love that thing. I'm so happy it's right there, is going to positively affect your mind, and like the more positive your mind is, I think the more able it is to jump into productivity.
Yeah, and again, for those of you who are just joining us, we're talking about how to end the year strong without burning out. We want to be staying productive during holiday chaos. And part of staying productive is recognizing a lot of different productivity techniques. Productivity techniques like feng shui, which I'm not huge on it, man, but it's you're where you're working, how you're working, the things that you do to work are really really important. And that's
Yeah,
why, I mean,
I should
heck, I
really
feel
kind of
I'm
look
like,
into
you're
what.
you're feeling the need to defend this. I'm like, we're hardcore on topic here, man. I'm like ready.
Yeah.
I don't think Mel can
um
yell at us.
the feng shui is something that's so interesting, and like I should like look into like trying to like implement feng shui elements into like my apartment. But on that same note, my biggest problem is I am so resistant to change.
Mhm.
And it's not even like the actual it changing, it's like the process of doing the change, and it's like I don't want to like rearrange my entire apartment just to like add in a little feng shui to it. But and I think also it's too crowded here. That's a big thing with feng shui. You need a lot of empty space, and I'm in way too small of a space to have it.
Well, sometimes I don't know enough about it, but I do think that it's important to at least kind of keep an idea of what certain things bring energy to.
Yeah, I shouldn't say just space. It's like space to like quantity of
Display,
items. Like
display, yeah,
I have way too much stuff that I would have to downsize it in order to properly like feng shui my apartment.
yeah.
Because like if you're cluttered, you can't have feng shui.
But all right, all right. So let's get back into it. I'm feeling bad because we're
Put
hopping
Mel
in and
Fletchin
I'm
up here
I'm
for us.
skipping questions. So I'm curious, how do you decide what to? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm curious, how do you decide what to say no to during the holiday season, especially when you already have a lot to do or feel like you're in a funk? So Jordan, I'm gonna put a couple hypotheticals here, and I want you to hit these off with quick responses.
Yeah.
I'm coming up to you as a friend, and I'm like, hey. We're doing Friends Christmas the weekend after Christmas. You want to do that?
Yeah, I do want to do that. But the problem is I'm gonna I do, but I don't. I I feel the pressure to do it, but internally it's winter. I don't want to leave my home. I will
So how
do
do you
it
say no?
for the social pressure. I went to D&D last Saturday. There was a moment where I was like typing out, guys, I don't know that I want to do this. And I was like, no, I gotta go.
Okay. Pause. So I'm tossing out hypotheticals. So in a
Yes.
hypothetical, someone invites you. How are you saying no?
How would I say no?
Yeah, how are you
I'm
turning me
I'm a
down?
bit like I'm not someone who believes in like trying to hide like your excuse for no. Um I mean I will sometimes if like if I feel like it's really kind of like a dick thing to do. But like if you don't want to do something, I'm just like, guys, I'm not feeling it today.
Well,
I try
exactly.
to very
So
much be
so
like,
I invite you. You don't want to. You just communicate it outright, and I
yeah.
think that's really the
I
gist
think
of
that's
it.
the healthiest way to do it for sure.
Yeah. So again, the question was, I'm curious, how do you decide what to say no to during the holiday season? If you're going to be overwhelmed, if you're going to be too busy, knowing your own battery, knowing what you
Yes.
can and cannot do, and then when you do say no, just be communicative and honest and upfront. I think that's our thing, being
And
blunt.
and
Yeah.
this question is pertaining to the holiday season, but I think the answer pertains to always. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
like I know not to like go too into like what people are feeling, but like we have another developer that works alongside me that like literally just today in like our meeting, like you were talking a little bit about like programming a crawler and stuff,
Mhm.
and he was like, yeah, I can do that, but I heard a little hesitancy in his voice, and so I immediately messaged him and I was like, this is a moment you can say no. I was like, it is okay to say no right now. And he was like, yeah, I don't know. This is sounding like more than I thought I was saying yes to at the beginning, and it's like, okay, well, we can communicate that, like it's an okay time to be like, this doesn't seem like something that should be me right now, you know?
100%. And I feel like you need to be in a position where you can feel comfortable stepping up and saying no. And that's I mean, it's a unique spot to be in, especially when you're working for a company and you're working in, manager versus non-manager, and you're like, "Hey, I need to go tell the owner of the company this, but I need to go tell my manager this, and I need to go tell HR this, and accounting this, and blah 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 blah." It's how you communicate that information most effectively, and what parts of that information need to go to who. So, in that instance, I know I'm not the one who's going to be like a huge dick and be like, "Oh, you tell me no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
How dare you?"
Yeah, no,
You
like
said
I could tell in the meeting you were very open to being like, hey, like you were like, how do you feel about this? But
yeah.
he's obviously like we have newer employees and newer employees have that like
Mhm.
hard time of being like, no, that seems like that's either not something that's like something I know how to do. Cause like he was saying that he's like, I've never really done that, but it was kind of like I can learn it. But he's also got so much on his plate that I could tell it
Yeah.
was clearly
Well,
like I just don't want to say no moment.
and it's in that situation, specifically in this one, and I do wanna touch on this because I think it's very good. So, in this whole situation, for context for the audience, I asked one of our developers about a crawler, and if they had any information or knew how crawlers worked. I described the crawler that I had used previously and had knowledge of, and was like, "Hey, what are your thoughts on that?" So, in my head, I'm wanting to get an idea of like, what do you know about crawlers? Have you interacted with a crawler before, and how did it function? And did what I just described, the functionality of this crawler, work? Because I've never made a crawler and I don't know enough about them. And so I, in this instance, was like, hey, can I get some more information? From your perspective, it comes across as, hey, we're gonna build a crawler and
Yeah, a
let's
little
get
bit.
ready
Like,
for it.
no, I definitely still kind of got that vibe from him, but I also know
Well,
you
yeah.
for like
We do this.
3.5 years now, like going on like 4 years. Like I've known you for a while now. And so I get that. And ultimately I think he does too.
Yeah.
Like I just think it was still one of those moments where he's like still struggling to be like to say no. And I don't have that problem. Like
So why don't you have that problem? If you had to name why you don't
I'm
have that problem.
lazy, Cody. I am so lazy. I am looking, and I'm not proud of this. I'm about to let me preface what I'm about to say by saying this is one of my worst traits as a human being. I will look for a way to not do it. And
Okay.
I'm not proud of it. I want to improve on that. I'm not sitting here trying to brag about that or anything. Like I recognize that as a fault. And like,
Mhm.
so it's like, if there's like oh, like, couldn't this just be done like this way? Like, I would pitch a way to get around it. I hate that. But
Yeah.
ultimately it's the
I
truth.
I will say there's pros and cons because you don't always just want to do what's said. And I can appreciate that mindset because as a manager, as someone who manages anyone, I'm sure that you want like I want what I say to generally get done, but I'm not always right and I know that.
Yeah.
I think this goes into talking about management styles and things like that, which I don't know enough about to get into in depth, but I consider myself much more of a coach than anything else, where I want to be here to support the experts. I know that I don't know as much as the people who report to me on the subjects that they're doing. It's their job to do the thing. It's not my job to do the thing. So I want to make sure that I can enable them to do that thing as best they can.
Yeah.
And so for me, when I get that pushback, it helps me understand where they're at. And when I don't get that pushback, it means that I failed because I need that pushback. Otherwise, I'm going to overburden you without understanding or knowing that.
Yeah. And I want to kind of touch on when you were
Yeah.
like, it's not always a bad thing. You're right. There is, I think
Mhm.
people with my mindset have probably generated some of the best like workarounds or like shortcuts to like, that's how like efficiency kind of is generated, is by the people who are like, I'm not going to sit here and hand crank this all day. I'm going to come up with something that cranks it for me,
Yeah.
and
There's a meme about that where it's like the lazy people are hire the
well,
lazy person to get
There,
the
I think
job
I
done.
think like Bill Gates had like a quote way back in the day of something where he was like, yeah, like, I will hire some lazy people on my staff intentionally because they're going to be the ones who are going to figure out like how to get this done with the least amount of work.
Yeah. And I do think that there's a time and a situation for that where it's like, hey, there's this repeatable task. Go accomplish this repeatable task and make it non-repeatable. And I always see the Reddit stories of people who are like, yeah, I wrote a script that does my entire job in 2 hours. So now I have 6 hours of free time in my day. And it's like, okay, cool. That's the type of people you want making your job. Now you don't want that person, you don't want to fire them. You don't want to be like, okay, here's 6 more hours of work. You want to reward that creativity.
See,
You want to be able
and
to reward
and I
that.
can tell you from experience as being the type of person who would go learn how to make that so that I could make my job easier and only have to work for 2 hours. Like, just getting to the point of like automating it is almost tough. Like that's like the
Well,
point where it's like, oh, like the lazy person, like finding a way to make work easier is still work. And
mhm.
so that lazy person has to like work up that energy to do that. And
And
again, speaking from experience.
yeah, and I want to draw the parallel again to our conversation that we had about flow states,
Hmm.
where you do a
Yeah.
lot of that upfront work. You work hard to be lazy. You do a
Hmm.
lot of that upfront work. You learn how to code, you learn computer programming, you learn how to do all of this stuff so that you can write a script so that you can automate your job that takes you 8 hours and make it happen in 2 hours. And
Hmm.
you went through all of that education, all of the ability to make that script, all of the coding, understanding that like level of knowledge. You had to get to a certain level of knowledge and understanding of your job, the processes, automation in order to make that happen. And that's phenomenal. Like that's a skill in and of itself.
Yeah.
Work really hard to be lazy.
Exactly. Exactly. And I want to stress that. Like I that's the mindset I try to have. Like I'm very honest about my faults,
Mhm.
and but I do think if once you can recognize your faults, you can turn them into strengths. And that's kind of the step that I'm trying to take.
Yeah. And so on from that, Melanie's got a couple of comments here. She says, same. I hate saying no. I'm usually pretty quiet, but I know sometimes it's necessary. I just try my best to find the courage. Sometimes it's all you can do. Honestly,
Hmm.
saying no is a lot better than saying yes and not delivering.
Yeah.
Saying no and working on a compromise or working on a half measure or a different option will get you further than just saying no. So those are what I would leave you with. Saying no sucks. Saying no but lets the scene keep going.
Yeah. Um, and while it's tough for me to like be like, here's good examples, which is like the follow up thing to what she's saying here.
Yeah.
Um, I can tell you like one of the ways to help get over that fear is kind of like exposure therapy almost. Like you just gotta like do it a couple times and you'll start getting comfortable with it. I truly believe that. Once you've started telling people no, it becomes a lot easier. It's just a hurdle you have to get over of accepting. It's almost like muscle memory, you know, like you saying it almost like teaches your brain like, oh, I can say that to people.
Oh, yeah, that is a word. That is something that I can do. And it is a very valuable thing to be able to do. I do think it's important to recognize when there's a situation to say no and when there's a situation to say no, but let's do this.
Yes.
So I end up in a lot of situations with Joe where he's like, hey, I want to do this. And I have to look at him and I have to be like, no, but we can do this and we can get close and we can maybe do whatever. So, like,
It,
fundamentally, your idea, what you just said, no,
I
that's
think a
no.
lot of
But
it comes down to who you're talking to. Knowing your audience is huge.
true.
Like an CEO, you know, like yeah, if you like, it's hard to just tell a CEO no. Like they're your big boss. You know,
Well,
they're your boss's
it
boss.
it
But then
depends on
like
who you are and in what position
and,
you
but
are.
also it depends on the CEO. Sometimes like they may be wanting you to say like sometimes they're asking a question because they need to know yes or no on something. You know, it's not like we're telling you to do something we need to know no. It's like no, that can't work that way. Because a lot
Yeah,
of times like a CEO isn't at that level of understanding the actual workings of something. Um
yeah.
and then like also on top of that, sometimes like CEOs like you said the yeah or the no, but sometimes they just want to know that motion is happening. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes they just want to know like we are doing something. So like Joe, our owner, like you might hit him with a no, we can't do that, but we're doing this. And honestly, I think from the moment he hears but, he might not be hearing everything you say after, but he's happy to know you are doing something.
Yeah. I mean, it is very much dependent on the person. I think that's the major takeaway where how someone is going to interact with what you say is important. But
Yes.
Sarah comes on to say ADHD and depression are by far the biggest holdups for me in finding motivation and getting stuff done. I think personally, my biggest hang up in the holiday season is 100% the weather. I am hugely affected by the cold, and I am a little lizard when it comes to snow on the ground. So as soon as snow starts sticking, I start getting a little bit sickly. I start feeling very much like a hibernating freaking bear. And
Yeah.
I'm like ready to sleep more, ready to stay in more. You talk about not wanting to go outside, 100%. But my thing is, work from home, we're in front of a camera, we're talking to people. I still feel like cut off and different, even though I don't go outside every day. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not constantly going outside. I will go for like walks. I'll feel the cold and whatever. But even just knowing that it's cold, even like just having heat on instead of air conditioning, it's the whole vibe shifts. And so in the cold, my seasonal affective disorder gets worse. My motivation gets shot, and then the breakup of time where it's just like, hey, here's Thanksgiving and Black Friday off. Okay, here's whatever. Now here's New Year's and Christmas. Getting deadlines done, doing any major projects is just very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So, working and maintaining that motivation, I think, is the big one. And maintaining that motivation is getting ready, getting dressed, hopping on camera, showing myself, showing my backdrop. Uh, to be blunt with you, I haven't done laundry in like 2 weeks. And so
Good for you.
I had a big old thing of laundry that was sitting like right here that you'll notice is not there because I started it this morning because I was going to be on this live stream and I was going to be showing off my backdrop. And that motivated me to go get it done.
Laundry's been a tough one for me too, especially for me because for me laundry involves going outside. Like
Oh,
I have to walk out of my unit, down a flight of stairs, through the snow to my laundry room, and it's like, that's probably the hardest thing to do in winter is laundry in an apartment
that is a
that doesn't
big
have a unit.
ask. Oh,
Yeah.
Now,
Uh,
I
I
do want
I
to say, sorry, not to interrupt,
no,
but
you're good.
when you are working, how do you maintain your focus like throughout the workday? Like, how do
That
you
so
stay in?
so
You clock
that
in. How are you here?
that that plays into me answering what Sarah's saying over here. Not that she asked a question, but what she's saying
Cool.
about ADHD and depression being like by far the biggest holdups for her. Depression for me isn't something that like I mean I've definitely had stages of it. But like it's something I normally work through pretty well. ADHD is something that like limits me in such a bad way. And I don't know if it's ADHD or ADD or like I understand the difference between them. I don't know what I have. I know I have one of them. And that is like the hardest thing for me is focusing on something throughout work. So like I have good days and bad days. My bad days tend to be very bad. My good days tend to be very good. And there's like very little between. And that's because like the days that I tend to notice are good are the days where I get up and I get like almost right to things. You know, like if it's going back to the topics we've already talked about today. It's a lot like making my bed. If I'm out of bed and I am working right away, those tend to be my better days because I started off productive and it snowballed into more productivity. Whereas the days where I'm bad are the days where I get up and I'm not super like into it. You know, I'll get up, I'll like check like personal emails to start my day or something, you know, like little things like that. And it really kind of throws me off for the rest of the day. And ADHD or ADD is a killer in certain situations.
Have you done any of the like reading or any of like the studies on when you wake up watching videos or checking your phone and like all of that? I know there's
I've
all
like
the
heard about them.
there's all this stuff about, hey, don't use screens an hour before bed. Unreasonable, completely awful. But the idea is when you're waking up, and my big thing is I will wake up, go to the bathroom, sit on the toilet, pull up my phone to check all my notifications. Waking up, and when you start by checking notifications and getting into the mindset, you can be good, it can be helpful, but when you start like watching videos, it
Hmm.
fucks with how you think.
Yeah.
Because like if you start with like world news, if you start reading like your first thing in the morning, you wake up, you don't make the bed, go walk into the bathroom and you sit down and you start opening a TikTok about how so and so political party did such and such a thing, your day is shot. I'm sorry, like you
I
can change up that energy, but your day is shot. You
I wish there was a way that you could like rewatch your own life, you know, and like that way I could compare and contrast like the days that I feel like were really bad work days. Like, did I wake up and was my TV on that day? You know,
yeah.
because I'm like 50-50. Some days I fall asleep watching TV in my room, and some days it'll be off. And like I'm curious, like if like my brain is like getting TV all night while I'm sleeping, do you think I wake up less productive than like waking up, you
I
know?
I would argue yes, but I also don't have any
Yeah,
stats
like
for
you don't
that.
have this, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I could go back and like watch those days and
Well,
be
and
like,
it's
you
do
know,
do some studies. We all know the scientific method. Like at the end of the day, like let's be realistic. You're not going to have enough data points to actually make any reasonable conclusions. But
no,
if you, hey, I'm going to spend whenever I fall asleep with it on, I'm going to make a check mark on my whiteboard for, on your weekly or whatever your monthly calendar, and then you look at it and you're like, "Hey, did I sleep well?" Yes. Check mark. TV on? No. X.
see, I just like it's less about the sleep because like I get good sleep
Yeah.
most every night. Like I don't like I'm not a bad sleeper, but like I just wonder like my mindset in the morning if it's like if I'm hearing all this media all night and like the lights are on in the room still and yeah my eyes are closed but you can still get that a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
like I wonder if that like affects in the next day you're in. It probably does because your brain is going to be more active all through the night, and so it's going to be less receptive to things in the morning. It's going to be less
Well,
aware. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
Well, and it's worth noting. I know 100% with surety that there are studies that say if you have sound, if you have lights on while you're asleep at night, your sleep is not going to be as good
yeah,
generally. Like 100% that's not good. Now, everyone's different. Everyone interacts differently. I was 100% one of those people who would fall asleep with TV on all the time. But I will say I think it's also important to kind of keep track and like hey, try new things, try different things, recognize like, hey, so waking up without a phone for my first 30 minutes, like I spent a week trying it where I wouldn't bring my phone to the bathroom when I first woke up, and
You'll
it was all
never
right,
catch
but it
me
didn't really
doing
change much.
that.
Ow,
Oh,
buddy,
Loki.
Bubba, hey,
Oh, I
oh,
see them claws out. I see those claws.
he was all goodness. He gave me a bite.
He needs
You see the
attention.
tail wag.
Oh.
Oh,
Have
okay.
I ever told you about like what I'm thinking is like anxiety in my mornings? Have I ever told you
How
about how I wake up in the mornings?
how do you mean?
Regardless of TV on, regardless of screen time,
Hmm.
there's a lot of times that I wake up feeling like people are in my room looking at me. Like I don't see people, like I just have like this constant state. Like it's like a lot of times it'll be you guys I feel like are there, like the people that like I work with and stuff. Like I'll wake up and like be like half covered on my bed, you know, sleeping in my underwear, like laying there, and I'll wake up and I'll feel like people are around me looking at me in my underwear, and I have to like cover myself,
So
and
I
it's like
don't
that for like 20 minutes. Yeah,
I
maybe
don't wanna do this, but is your work computer in your room
it is.
with Microsoft Teams and all of the things that you use to talk to us and you see us
Mm-hmm.
on?
Yeah, no, I've thought about that. Trust me, there's been times where I like look over and like, yeah, my camera will be like closed, you know, and like on the thing, and it's not even looking at my bed, so I know it can't see me. But my brain is like, the camera sees me, you know,
Yup.
like.
I 100% would not be surprised if that was it, because I 100%.
But like,
So
it's not always just you guys. Like sometimes, like it just feels like I have crowds in there, or like
yeah.
it's not always like I can tell the people. Sometimes it's just like this vibe of like I'm just being watched, you
Well,
know.
it 100%, and I'll be real, I would my hard argument comes it's the computer because you're talking to people on Discord, you're talking to your friends on there, you watch YouTube videos on
You're
there,
probably right.
and
The
it's like
problem is I don't have enough room in my apartment to
yeah!
move this somewhere else.
Which is a whole thing in and of itself. I will say, so I understand this. It did make me. I want to say it made me giggle, but it didn't even make me giggle. It just made me go like, "Oh, like realistically, yes, I understand, but not at all."
I
Um,
laugh about it all the time.
well, no. So this is the way
Oh,
that my computer here is set up. You can obviously say, like I said, this is a guest bed here. Well, I've had people come over to stay in this guest bed, and I have 100% taken down this webcam and just unplugged it and removed it from the room
yeah,
every single time
yeah.
because I am not even going to have any question of like this computer is on and possibly recording the bed right here.
Yeah,
Nope,
like
not at all.
it doesn't bother like having like for me like having my webcam like flipped open and stuff when I'm not using it doesn't bother me a super like a lot. But I'll still try and close it as much as I can. But like Colton will like come over and hang out in my room and stuff, and he'll look and see it on. He'll be like, "I'm just gonna," and just like turn it off because he's like, "I don't want to be on potential camera," you know.
Yeah. Well, and it's very much a
Especially pointing at a guest bed, you
yeah.
know, like
Well, it's
that's
pointing
very
at a guest
creepy.
bed. It realistically, so this camera pans and you can't see it with this, but there's a bathroom door over there. So like it can view into the bathroom and
Mhm.
see a toilet if I don't have that door closed. So if this is on and open and recording, if the NSA is viewing me through my webcam, which is how they do, I guess, based on whatever random
What
movies I
people have
see.
said, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
But then yeah, they can see when you go use the bathroom over there if that door is open, or like if I go walk in there, anything in this area, and I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that at all, even slightly. I don't want to deal with that.
Um, Sarah's asking me if I have ever had sleep paralysis. I want to hurry up and say I don't believe so. There's maybe been like 2 times that I've ever like woken up and felt like I couldn't move. Normally I can like move. It's just yeah, like a feeling like I said, I feel like people are watching me, and so like I cover myself up and like slink away. Um, so like yeah, I'm like I know people with sleep paralysis often do kind of feel like they're being watched. I know there's like the thing of like the sleep paralysis demon, you know, that a
Yeah,
lot of people get where it's like if you're in a dark room with sleep paralysis, sometimes you like make out like a humanoid shape almost.
yeah.
That would be terrifying. I have
I'm
had. Have you ever had like a nested dream where like like you are dreaming, like having like a nightmare, but you are like in your room. So like when you wake up, it's almost hard to differentiate like the
Oh, yeah,
nightmare
yeah, yeah.
from real life. Yeah, those have gotten me pretty good in the past. When I was a real little kid, I remember sleeping in like my mom's bed one night, and like I don't even think well, it wasn't even that night. I think I took like a nap, and like I had a dream that a scorpion went under the pillow, and then like I woke up and I tore that bed apart looking for that scorpion.
Oh my gosh. Well, 100%. And I've had a couple of different dreams like that. Usually the dreams that I remember like that are like getting stabbed.
I I used to have a repeating Freddy Krueger nightmare, which
Oh.
by the way, worst nightmares to have.
Uh,
Like
uh,
if there is a slasher villain to not have nightmare or to have nightmares about, Freddy Krueger is not it. You you know, like that's his thing. That's his shtick.
that's that
But
that is his
but
thing.
it was reoccurring, and there's actually been two different nightmares that I've had that have been reoccurring enough that like I got to the point where I was in them and knew I was in them and would just let them kill me. Like I would just walk up to them and be like, "Do it," and
Just
then,
end it.
yeah,
See, and now that's probably not good
that's
mentally.
not how that can't be
That's
helpful.
probably not helped
That
you long term.
no, no. Yeah,
Like,
like
do you
I
ever
have
do you
this
ever notice that with
fear
the
now
way
that if I'm being chased by someone with a knife, I'm just gonna be like, just do it.
Well, so my question for you, do you do you feel like your reaction in situations like that and you're like, "Oh shit, that this fucked me up." Like that's what's
Not
messing me up
really.
right there.
No, I don't think so. What kind of fucked me up about it is the Freddy Krueger nightmares. Like one of them happened, and like I had a cousin that I'm not super close with anymore. Like not like estranged or nothing, but like I just don't talk to him much anymore. But he was like when I was a young kid, he was like my cool cousin. He was the one that like I was like, oh, I really like this cousin. I want to be like this cousin. And then in that nightmare, um, like I had the repeating one where like Freddy Krueger, and then all of a sudden like my cousin was in the nightmare, and I was like, oh, like help me, and then he's like, ah, and then he pops out claws, and then I was like, oh no, and then like I went to my cousin, I was like, you were in my Freddy Krueger nightmare, and I was like, you had claws, and he went, you mean like these claws, and I was a little kid and it scared the fuck out of me.
Holy shit, that's actually hilarious.
Oh, Sarah says her sister legit got stung by a scorpion in her bed at an Airbnb in Tennessee. That's crazy.
As someone who stayed at an Airbnb in Tennessee recently, that's terrifying. Like
uh,
actually,
yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about that. We did do that, didn't we?
we did do that. But all right, we got another question here. Curious when it comes to feeling drained or a lack of sleep, how do you recharge when your energy is running low even during the holidays?
Not good ways, I'm sure.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
sure.
Jordan, do you want to
I
tell
just
us all the
grit
ways
and
not
bear
to, and then I
through
can
it
follow up
until
with
I
the good
feel
ways?
better. I just grit and bear through it till I feel better.
So, as opposed to grit and bear through it until you feel better, doing some things to take care of yourself are very important. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure you're eating food. What happens a lot when you're feeling low, when you're feeling drained, especially from like a lack of sleep and your energy is low, is you're generally stopping taking care of yourself. Those are the first things that go. And when you stop taking care of yourself and the environment that's around you, things really start to slip. So, when you're feeling drained, when you have like a lack of sleep, when you're feeling really negative, the first thing that you should do, bluntly, go shower, go clean yourself. Hopefully, you have clean clothes to change into. If you don't, start with some laundry so you have some clean clothes to get into. Do a simple load with one, whatever you want to wear. Go wash that really quick so you can change into some nice clothes and then go take a shower and wash yourself. Number one, you're starting to feel a little bit low, go take a shower. Every single thing will feel better after the shower. Um, Step two, eat. Go eat food. Make sure that you are fully I don't know. How do you say
What do
that?
you, what do you recommend to someone who's intermittent fasting?
Oh, Drink water. You gotta intermittent fast then. Like if you're feeling low and it's
No, that was a good
10
one.
a.m. and you can't eat until 2, you better drink some water, man, because water is what's
That was,
missing.
if there was a right answer to that like trick question that trap question I just asked right there, that was it. That was the right
Oh,
answer.
100. It's worth noting, and also fun fact for anyone who's listening who might not know this. I think it's something like 50 or 60% of the time that you're hungry, you're not actually hungry, you're thirsty because you don't have enough water. Um, when you're thirsty, the first thing you feel is hungry.
So
So
I think they're just kind of like they're kind of one and the same at an extent because like ultimately it's kind of like it breaks down in you. So like you just kind of empty. So like that water will still fill you, you know, and so like it kind of helps with that. Yeah, you're not getting some of the same nutrition, but like yeah, water
yeah,
will fill you up when you're feeling hungry, and that's why like drinking water is a good way to kind of diet.
maybe, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor either. All I'm saying is,
Listen, no, you
if you're
wanted me
feeling
to be
hungry,
confident about this, Cody, and I'm telling you right now that the way it works is that water just fills up your stomach, and so you feel more full.
hell yeah. And that's the good shit is drink some water because the first thing you should do whenever you're hungry is drink some water because one, you're not drinking enough water. You right there watching, you're not drinking enough water. I
Mel says
promise
to
you're
drink
not.
cold water, but I do think I've read that cold water is actually like a shock to your system and then can be
Ooh,
kind of
not
bad for
drink.
you.
I think she means shower in cold water.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, which is something that I haven't done it recently. I probably will start it again with like the New Year's. I don't take cold showers, but I will take warm showers and then turn it cold for the last like and like I have an Alexa in my bathroom. So like I'll be like, hey, start a timer for 60 seconds, you know, and then
Nice.
I will turn it cold and then I'll just sit in there for 60 seconds.
That's kind of sick. See, I need to get better about doing things like that. Honestly, it is really, really good for you. It's supposed to be really good for your body and for your health. And that's definitely good. So, step one, wash yourself, clean up your surroundings. Step two, feed yourself, water yourself, make sure you take care of yourself. You are just a plant at the end of the day. And you know what else plants need? They need sunlight. Go get out into the sun. Go get outside, go touch grass. If it's
The problem
cold,
is there's like no freaking sun, Cody.
if there's no sun,
Get a daylight lamp.
there's no anything out there, go get outside regardless because the cold air will be bracing and you will be outside. Being outside even in the snow is good. I would recommend sauna, gym memberships. Go get a gym membership so that you can go into a sauna. Saunas are really useful. Sun lamps also very useful.
I was
Get
gonna ask you.
outside, get heat.
You asked me the other day if I'd ever tried like a daylight lamp or like a sun lamp or anything like that, and you were thinking about it. Have you pulled the trigger on one?
I have not pulled the trigger on a sun lamp. I've used a number of them and I fun fact, I actually do tanning booths every once in a while in the winter purely because going into a tanning booth is really really nice. So if I'm actually feeling it super bad, personally, my go-to is always a bath. For example, like this morning I was feeling super I didn't really want to wake up, so what I did is I checked all my work emails while I took a bath. And so
That's why you were sending messages on Discord at 6 a.m., isn't it? You woke me
maybe
up last night, by the way.
last night at 6 a.m.
Yeah. That's
That's
not a
not
normal
night.
time for people.
Whoa, this is okay. This is where we're at. 6 a.m. is not night.
No, sure. Okay. Well, like
Okay, okay. I thought you were gonna hard and fast this one where you're like, no, 6 a.m. is night. No,
yeah,
6
sure.
a.m.
It
is
is the
morning. Good
morning. Yeah,
morning,
it
bro.
is the morning, but it is still part of like going to sleep at night. You know, like that is still my night's sleep.
When I messaged you, did it ding really loud at your
No,
computer?
I don't even know if you actually woke me up. I think maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. But like I like rolled over and I think Eric responded too, didn't he? I think you were both talking at like
Oh
6
yeah, no.
a.m.
Eric and I are awake at like 6 a.m.
Yeah,
regularly.
yeah. No, no.
Which I mean, hey, if you're looking for other things, this is just general mental health at this point to stay productive. Ooh, actually, there's another question here. We have a couple minutes
Yeah,
left, but
she keeps bombing questions with a minute left.
dude, I'm here for it. I'm ready for these. How is your idea of staying productive changed from school till now? Do you think it has improved? 100%.
Yeah.
Staying productive in school is I did. It wasn't a thing that I actively did because I don't think school teaches you how to be productive. I think school teaches you how to get things done and tells you to do it and expects you to learn how to be productive on your own.
You say it's something you didn't actively do. I say it's something I didn't do. Like I have been on record here in on the podcast talking about how bad a student I was.
Hmm.
You know, like I was so bad at it that honestly, like the only thing I could either still be that bad now or I could have gotten better. There's no other trajectory. Like you can't get
It
worse
could only
than how
go up.
bad I was in college. Other than failing, I suppose. I didn't
Yeah.
fail. So
And I do want to say just in general, I think that there's a lot of skills that people start off with in college that are great. There's a lot of things that people can learn in college that are useful. It definitely helps to age and mature out of those. I think that my mental age has gone up more in the past 3, 4 years than all of my 20s before that. So yeah, the people who are coming out of the college, they have some coping ideas. They have some ideas on some things that they can do. Build those habits up. Really nail those habits home. If you can get to bed at 9 or 10 and wake up at 7 or 8 every single day, if you can make sure that you're keeping consistently cold showers and you're making sure that you're taking care of your mental health, you're going to be in a great spot. Build those habits young because those habits translate really well as you get older.
yeah.
Now, with that, I think we're going to call it. Thanks so much for joining us. We were here today to talk about how to end your year strong without burning out. We do like hitting on those mental health topics. The year's busy, man. As you get to the end of the year, a lot of people are going to be harder to get. There's going to be a lot of time off. There's going to be a lot of people doing a lot of different things. Don't take it personally. Don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to jump on every opportunity that you can. Don't take it personally when someone is, working or not working on Christmas. It's their prerogative. But Jordan, anything you want to lead off with before we head out of here?
Make your bed in the morning.
What's that?
Make your bed in the morning.
Make your bed in the morning. Definitely make your bed in the morning.
And if you can't make your bed, if your partner's still in the bed when you get up or something like that, and you can't make the bed in the morning, go do something productive. Something small, but something productive.
Start with something productive. You've heard it here first. Thanks for joining us on the Joey Matterhorn channel. Join us tomorrow on the Good Rep Media channel where we're going to be talking about something super fun. I had the topics up for a hot second.
I
Holiday
didn't even
season
know what we
burnout
were
for
doing today.
employees. How to keep your small team motivated during business and holidays. So if you're a small business owner, if you have a small team of people, if you're looking to keep people motivated, uh, come join us as we talk about that tomorrow. But thanks so much for joining us today. And we will see you then. Peace out.